Hi, thank you for joining me today. I'm Mrs. Catronio. I'm Case's general education teacher. I'm reaching out today to discuss Case's literacy development within our classroom and share with you his progress monitoring, his goals, and his future plans for interventions. I want to start by sharing with you some of Case's strengths. He is an incredibly kind student who is always eager to participate in our whole group activities, our discussions. He is kind to his peers, and he's very motivated to learn this material. So I want to build off of that current knowledge that he holds to make these connections and to further support his progress and success. I would like to share with you a brief analysis of our progress monitoring data to let you know why we've come up with these plans and where our targeted focus is. So every student in Case's grade gets tested for their level of word recognition, that's how quick they can read their words, and their fluency with reading, their vocabulary knowledge, their reading comprehension. They're giving a short text and are trying to identify what the text is about. And then Lexile, that is a digital app that is used to assess students' literacy skills. Currently, we are setting a goal for 50th percentile or higher for all of our students. Currently, Case's scores for word recognition are in the 30th percentile. His vocabulary knowledge is in the 44th percentile, and his reading comprehension is in the 32nd percentile. All of those are below what our expectations are, and we are creating these interventions to help him reach that 50th percentile or higher while he's in our class. For his Lexile score, it was about 160, which is equivalent to a kindergarten literacy level. Again, all of these skills work together in combination, though we are going to focus specifically on his word recognition, or we have been focusing on his word recognition for the last 9 weeks to see an increase in that towards his goal. His word recognition started at a 30th percentile baseline. Over the course of the first 3 weeks, we saw that increase to a 32nd percentile score, and which was great. That showed that he was responding. We call it an RTI, response to intervention. He was responding to the interventions we put in place and was showing progress. In week 5, he continued to progress to the 34th percentile, and then in week 7 and week 9, he moved to the 38th percentile. All of these show continued growth, though we would like to see a faster rate of growth for Case. That is why I have met with several professionals within our school to develop this plan of supporting Case in his intervention plans. The people that I've met with to develop this plan include the paraprofessionals that work within our classroom and directly with Case, our support staff that do check-ins with the students to assess, any types of needs, any delays of development, our specials teachers, our music, library, art, phys ed. Those teachers see Case as well in another setting. To collaborate with them helps me grab a better understanding as to how to best support Case. And then also other grade level teachers to develop these plans and help the student, specifically Case. Based on his scores and his level of progress, we are going to readjust his plan to increase his frequency and more targeted approach to his intervention. One of the questions I asked in our meeting with the other professionals was, what other areas does Case need support in? Specifically looking at literacy development, his scores for reading comprehension were on the lower end as well. So part of that, in answering that question is, could there be a connection between targeting both the word recognition skills and the reading comprehension skills to help, continue his progress? Another question that I had asked was, Does the frequency and length of support during intervention need to increase? Is it not enough time for Case to receive the materials that we're teaching or to practice the skills that he is learning? So the answer to that question was that both of those do need to increase. Currently, Case is going to intervention 5 times weekly. We are going to increase that to 7 times weekly. So he will have more time in intervention to learn and then practice these skills. The length of the intervention currently is 20 minutes. With Case's focus, I think that was not giving him enough time to really hone in on what he is learning. So the recommendation is to increase his length of intervention to 30 minutes to see if that helps in his progress further. Tier 2 intervention happens within our classroom. It is in a small group with students of similar skill sets. There's about 4, sometimes 5 students in the group total, and the group is targeted specifically on the skills that those students, like Case, need to develop. In Case's Tier 2, we call it a Tier 2 intervention group. In his group, we really focus on practicing reading words. That includes segmenting words. So if I were to show them the word cat, they would break apart the sounds k, at, cat, with increasing difficulty. We are going to now add the reading comprehension component to include questions about the text, understanding what he's reading and building that sense of story. So that is our future plan to help Case continue literacy development. This has been researched and backed to support students' growth. This will continue with a 9-week plan to progress monitor every 2 weeks to see if he is responding to the intervention at a faster pace, showing no progress, or showing a regression. This information in the next 9 weeks will help us determine if there is comprehensive testing for dyslexia needed, which at this time does not appear so. That is something that I will stay in constant communication with and update you immediately for every 2 weeks of the intervention to give you the scores and keep you updated on what he's working on. With that, I do suggest that there are some skills to work on at home to help him continue to grow. I recommend reading every night for 15 to 20 minutes, maybe in a style of first you read a sentence, then you can read the sentence together, then he reads it on his own. This practice helps him build the word fluency and the reading comprehension component of practicing reading. We call it a I do, we do, you do model. So first you read it, then you guys read it together, then he would read it to you. That will support him greatly. Additionally, I recommend that at the end of the stories at home that you ask Case questions related to the story. Who were the characters? Where were they? What happened in the beginning? What happened in the middle? And what happened in the end? That will help him continue to build his reading comprehension skills. As you're looking for reading materials or support, I highly recommend the community resource of your local library. There are reading programs for kids. There are access to books at no cost, and they're a fun environment for students to engage in their learning and their reading. Additionally, there are small groups that meet in your community that support reading buddies. So maybe he would be paired with students of similar or a little bit older ages that they would practice reading together. Peer feedback, peer response does help increase the motivation to want to get better and to continue their progress. I strive to help Case in every way. I am going to encourage him through this intervention progress with a data tracking sheet. It kind of looks like a game board where each time he successfully completes his intervention, so again, that's 7 times weekly, he'll get a little sticker. So once he gets to the end of the sticker, so whatever the activity is, say the activity for the day is reading 10 words and writing them. and then going back and reading them again. Every time he completes the activity for that intervention, he'll get a sticker on his little game board. Moving all the way to the end after, a week's worth of stickers, so 7 stickers, 7 activities, he would be able to pick a prize from our little prize box, which includes, small fidget toys, stickers, rewards like, line leader for the day, or fun activities that we can do in the school to encourage him to continue to participate in these activities and build off of that already present motivation and not get discouraged through this. In the following weeks, you can expect communication from me weekly. I will give you updates as to how Case is doing, what I have noticed any changes is, what I recommend for working at home, and his continued progress monitoring scores. I will send this via messaging on our school-based app. I will call. I can honestly work with what works best for you to support this communication and strong partnership to support Case. Again, I thank you for being with me today, and I'm really excited for Case's future development in his literacy skills. I think he'll be very successful. Thank you. Bye.